listening to the Walk the Line podcast. Real stories of real people.
Guys, welcome back. Walk the Line podcast again. I've got a surprise for you. I've got a returning guest. Jia, how you doing?
I'm good, Ryan. How are you?
It has been a minute. We were just chatting before we jumped on. It has been, about 4 years, 5 years, something like that, since the last time you came on?
I think so. I was on when I released Conviction on Amazon Prime, I think, and that was 2020, maybe? I don't know. It's been a long time. 2022, maybe.
It was, yeah, because I remember that you just got released, or it was just about to get released, or one of the two, and you were doing like the kind of press tour and everything for it, and getting everyone eyes on it and all that sort of stuff. So, 2022. Have I been doing this for this long? Holy shit! I could be classed as a podcast veteran now, can't I?
Oh, you totally can. Yes, as you should.
I don't. Yes, I should. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest. And I'm still shit.
No.
So it's great to have you back on. So it's been fantastic. You've been busy, of keeping up with the socials and all that sort of stuff. And so it's been a crazy few years for you, isn't it?
It has been. I mean, I try and stay busy. I like to be busy, but after Conviction was released and it was, pretty well received, which was really awesome, I continued filming that story and made a feature doc. And so I made a feature doc called 16 Years, and it's also Jeffrey Deskovic's story, but it's a much longer version. It's 90 minutes long, so it goes much deeper into the shortcomings of the American justice system and really what makes a wrongful conviction take so long to correct and all the hurdles that these people have to go through. And it touches on all aspects of it, like false confession and how people who are innocent come to even falsely confess to something they didn't do, which the psychology behind that is fascinating. The amount of things I learned about that has been really mind blowing. And so we're in. I got signed by Buchwald, and so we're in the process of getting distribution for 16 Years now, and a few other films also. Oh,
that's fantastic. So people that, obviously, if you're listening and you did catch up the previous episode between us, obviously previous documentary called Conviction, and it was very interesting. Is it still on Amazon Prime now, is it?
It is, yep.
Still on there. Catch up with it. Wrongfully Committed. We had, it was the Wrongfully Committed. How long was he inside Jeffrey? I was going to say David. Sorry if he's listening to this. Sorry, Jeff. Jeffrey's been on the show as well, so have a look at that one. It was about Jeffrey and how he got wrongfully committed for, I think it was, how many years was that?
He got, I believe his sentence was 15 years to life for rape and murder. And he ended up
wrongfully as well. And the greatest thing about Jeff as well, he's coming out and he's now trained as a lawyer. And he's now, kind of specialising in wrongful convictions as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is a great 180 sort of thing, which is fantastic what he's doing sort of thing. I'll probably have to message him, get him back on the show. It'd be great to catch up with him as well.
Yeah, and now he's freed, I think, 15 people.
Wow. Yes,
so for sure you should talk to him. It's amazing what he's been able to do.
Jesus, that's crazy. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Good thing that he's getting these people released, and a bad thing for the justice system, really, isn't it?
Oh, Ryan, since I first talked to you, and I think we talked about this, if I remember correctly, the first time. Back then, when I started filming Conviction, Jeff was the only person, literally the only person I knew in my personal life that was wrongfully convicted. Today, I know between 40 and 50 men and women personally, and half of them are like close friends of mine now through this work. But if I can know personally 40 to 50 people who've been wrongfully convicted, I can't even imagine how frequently this occurs. And there's no statistics to really tell us, because lots of people in prison are guilty and say they're innocent, and then the people who are innocent, wrongfully convicted, they're, obviously they're still in prison, so they're not being believed or what have you. So there's no real statistics, no accurate numbers on how many people are actually wrongfully incarcerated.
I mean, what do you think is the reason? Because is it the justice system that's failing, or is it, I don't know, corruption possibly?
Oh, it's all of those things. But, in the States, and I'm no expert in this, but because the prisons are for profit, they're getting free labor out of these people who are in prison. And so there's so much incentive to put more people in prison because it benefits the country financially.
Oh, yeah, because it's all privatized over there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
different because over here it's not. We over in the UK it's completely. Well, I don't know if they are privatized. I don't think so. I think some are and some aren't. But
Okay.
yeah, it's over there is all privatized. So the more convictions they get, the more labor they get. And what's the labor do? What does it do over there?
I don't know all of the details, but if you Google it, you can see like how many corporations um use prisoners as, employees, or like to not employees because they're not allowed to get paid. They're paid like cents in for the hour in prison.
Yeah,
But you can see the list of
Jesus,
companies who use prison labor for their for-profit companies. You can actually Google that and see
jeez.
it. I'm no expert in this area, but I've, obviously read about it here and there and heard about it from a lot of the people who are incarcerated. And actually, have you seen that film that came out, The Alabama Solution?
I don't think I have. No.
Okay, I think it is like the best film ever made about the prison system in the US, and I would highly recommend everybody to watch it. That one really outlines I mean so many things that are wrong with the prison system here, but it shows you it really goes into detail about how these prisoners are used like for labor for these companies. For in one guy's situation, and I'm gonna probably not get this 100% correct. I'm going based on memory and I saw it last year, but one of the guys works as like I think he's like cleans and stuff in the zoo in Alabama. And so he's like around children and stuff. And, because it's a zoo, right? And he does his work there and then he goes back to the prison, right? That's what they take them there. They work there and they take them back. And he can't get parole. And he's like, I can't get parole. I'm not eligible for parole, but I can be at the zoo all day and around children. And I'm, obviously he's a great employee there.
Yeah.
And he's never been able to get parole. There's all these really, really clear examples of how broken the system is and how they're using prisoners to benefit many, many companies.
I didn't realize they actually went off the site. I thought when you said they were working, I thought they were like, I don't know, like doing like, you always see the license plate stamping and doing all like manual labor and I don't know,
Yes.
whatever it is, and making stuff. They take them off site as well.
Well, I didn't know that either until I saw the Alabama Solution. So that was
My God.
news to me too. This film is like, I highly, highly recommend it. It highlights numerous, numerous issues, and this being just one of the many that it touches on. But yeah, I didn't know that either until I saw it in the movie.
Jesus, it's like modern slavery, really, isn't it?
It is. That's exactly what it is. And I've never seen a film better than the Alabama Solution that depicts that really clearly. Yeah.
I'm gonna catch that up. But I may actually watch that tonight as a bit of a nighttime view.
Yeah, it's so sad and it's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch. So it's up to you if you want to watch
I
it.
might not. I might wait till a little bit better mood. I'll
Yeah,
put
yeah.
something
Wait till
funny on
you can like
instead.
handle it. Yeah, for sure.
I know you have to be in the right state of mind to watch these sort of films, until become a bubbling mess. And because that's the thing, when I watch these sort of films, it really get you thinking. I lie in bed, and my mind just goes 100%. It just like 1,000
Yes,
miles an hour, and I
same.
can't help it. Next thing I'm googling it, and then I'm sitting there, and then I'll be watching your documentary, and I'm putting everything together, and I'm going, oh my God, there's a conspiracy going on. And next thing you know, I'll be like, I'm coming over to help.
Yeah, yeah.
Coming to
I'm the
States to
same.
help you.
I'll start doing a deep dive at 4 a.m. and
Oh,
then I'm
God.
up till 6 and
The
yeah,
rabbit hole is real, I tell you. It's crazy, but
absolutely. Yes.
that is sorry, go on, carry on.
I was gonna say also this one's a really tough watch because there's a lot of violence. There's like very raw. It's filmed just inside the prison and you just kind of
Yeah,
it's such a glimpse of what's really happening there. So there's a lot of violence too that's really hard to like kind of stomach.
that's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's so scary to see that something that is actually happening and it's not being talked about as much as it should be. Obviously, the mainstream news and all that sort of stuff. So I take a lot of things like this as being covered up, like the wrongful convictions and all the kind of prison services and all that. It's all being dusted under the carpet, I would imagine.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It is.
Just nobody wants to be seen as don't want to really be seen as the bad guys, really, do they? Because
Yeah.
they're profiting from it.
Yeah, I mean, that's one aspect of it, going back to your initial question. The other thing is, a lot of the time it's just pure corruption or, bad players in the roles that they're in, like detectives who, instead of wanting to find the real perpetrator and solve the crime, they just want to check the box and say this case is solved and off my desk, because they get promotions and such,
Yeah.
at work. So it's all these different things that come into play, on so many levels.
So what the documentary did a few years ago, Conviction. How is that? What sort of like kind of reception did you get from that, and what did that lead on to? Did that lead on to some like kind of, I wouldn't say bigger and better things? Did that open doors up to people come and approach you for certain cases?
Yes, it has definitely. The cases are tough sometimes because I'm an indie filmmaker, I'm one person.
Yeah.
And then when I take on these films, I'll hire a crew. But I get a lot of it's really heartbreaking, actually. I get a lot of emails in my inbox saying, I saw your film and I have a brother or a family member, or this, that, the other, who's in prison, and can you look into this case? But the
Yeah.
tough part about that is I don't have the capacity. I can't investigate a whole case, right? I can document it, right? And
Yeah.
so I often have to say no, because you need PIs and you need lawyers and
Yeah.
you need and not only that, but you need their own lawyer who has their case to agree to let you film. And I'll tell you, 90% of the time the lawyers err on the side of caution and they say no, because
Okay.
they're like, if you say anything in the film or you reveal anything, that we're kind of holding our cards close to our chest because we're going to use it in a motion later or in this, that, you're going to mess up my case. And so they most often say no. So there's just so many hurdles. But it did definitely open up a lot of doors. It was my first venture into filmmaking back then. And I ended up making a feature film and I ended up getting signed with Buckwald, which has all been fantastic.
Yeah.
And then as a result, so hopefully this film will come out soon, but then as a result, got hired on a couple other films as a producer. So like for me
Wow.
personally, it's been great. Um,
Open the door.
yeah, yeah. And there's a case I'm working on right now, a film I'm working on right now, and it's a case out of Maryland where this it's crazy. Actually, 48 Hours did an episode on it. Um, it's three kids who went out drinking for a birthday party and ended up coming back into one of their apartments, and something happened that night, and one of the kids, they were like 20, I think, or so 21.
Yeah.
One of them was murdered, stabbed to death in the apartment. And there's only three people inside, and one is dead. So the one of the other two had to have done it, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's one that I'm working on right now, which has been fascinating because we're actually doing some investigative journalism and looking at the DNA evidence and whatnot. So it's been interesting.
That sounds crazy, isn't it? It's that, yeah, two people. It's like, it's either one or the other. Which is
Yeah.
pick one.
And they both say they don't remember because they were so
Oh,
drunk.
really?
Yeah, they were blackout drunk and high. And so it's like both say they have no memory of what happened, which is just such a bizarre.
I don't know about that. Yeah, that's bizarre. I mean, I've been drunk many times in my life, Gia, but I can only remember what happened.
See, I can't.
Okay, no. Lightweight.
Yeah, some people, I think alcohol has that effect on them. I mean, I don't know what really happened, here, obviously, but for me, when I black out, I have no recollection.
Oh, Jesus, that's pretty funny. I think it's the Scottishness in me. I must have like tough genes because we just drink constantly, so we must be used to it, sort of thing. I think that's what it is.
Maybe, I don't know what it is, but I think, yeah, I think that does happen to some people, honestly.
Jesus, there you go. And then it does happen, and you end up killing people. Not everyone. Doesn't happen to everyone. Not putting everyone down there. You got to get blackout drunk and kill everyone.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is a bizarre situation. It's a bizarre case. Yeah, it's interesting for that reason, also.
So when you got signed before, you mentioned earlier you got signed after you did the conviction. What was that like? Was that a phone call, or did they come and meet you, or did they say, here's a bit of paper, sign it, we want to bring you on? How did that go down?
Yeah, that came about because I was screening Conviction around the country at different festivals and conferences. We screened at CrimeCon in Orlando. And
Ah,
in the
okay.
audience was a lawyer who's also worked on some documentaries. And he actually approached me, and he was really moved by the film, and he said he loved it and said, I want to introduce you to somebody. And he introduced me to his agent at Buckwald, who he had worked with to do his documentaries. And they watched 16 Years, which I had completed at that point in time. And
Yeah.
then they said they wanted to sign me and that they thought they could sell it. And that's how that came to be. And that was a few years
Jesus.
ago, or a couple years
Years.
ago. Yeah. Yeah. So
It
it's
just goes so fast, doesn't it?
kind of, it feels so slow to me. Like it feels
Oh,
so, yeah,
okay.
because I finished the film like, 2 years ago and I wanted to be out there in the world. And it feels like 2 years is such a long time to like go through the distribution process before anybody can watch it. And people ask all the time, where can I watch it? Where can I watch it? And I have no answer. It's like nowhere.
So where can we watch it then? I couldn't help myself. Had to get in that there, like, you cheeky bastard.
I know, right? I know. I know. Nowhere right now. But this year, it'll be out this
Is it
year.
going to come? Was it coming to streaming services or is it coming into this theatre? How's it coming out?
Streaming services. Yep. That's who we've been
Brilliant.
in talks with. Yep. So it just
You've
depends
got,
on who's willing to buy it and put it out there.
well, you've got contacts at Amazon already. You cannot get in touch with them.
Yeah,
Get
for
Jeff
sure.
Bezos on the phone. Get Jeff on the phone.
Right. Right. Yes, Amazon's an option. We're just
Yeah,
really taking it out to all the streamers and then weighing our, opportunities, and then we'll see, yeah, where it ends up. But Amazon's definitely an option. Yes.
that's all great. I mean, the thing is, well, when it comes to stuff like that, it's just the streaming services are so big right now with new indie films and stuff. I think Netflix is probably the main one that's coming out, especially with the true crime sort of side of things. And then you've got Amazon as a close second. But yeah, it's exciting time. So I mean, is it? You mentioned it's been in like kind of pre-production and all that sort of stuff. Is it? When was it? When did you wrap up filming for it then?
For 16 years?
Yeah.
We finished it in 2024, I believe. But I made some more edits to it in 2025 after we screened it around.
Yeah.
Yes, so we made some changes to it, just some updates to it, because then Jeff freed more people and stuff like that. So we updated it recently. And so now we're going
Right.
out again and doing another round of pitches to the streaming platforms.
Well, and that's the extended sort of. Is that the extended version
Yes.
of Conviction?
Yeah, the extended version is called 16 Years. It's feature
Right.
length. It's 90 minutes. Yeah.
Wow. So it's gee, what? So you did a conviction. Oh Christ, what's next? What are you going to be doing next sort of thing after you do this? It sounds like you've got so much going on.
Yeah, it feels that way. It feels that way. It's so funny because what I'm working on a really interesting one. It's the three hosts of Yo MTV Raps. Do you remember that show from back in the day on
God,
MTV?
vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm working with the three guys who hosted that show. And it's really interesting how like these, two guys from Long Island, and I think one was from Queens, kind of brought hip hop to the world, and it's their story and how they were college kids, at
Oh
the
wow.
time. So that's a fascinating one I'm working on. Then the other one I told you is the other false confession,
The,
true crime one.
do you, because obviously you're like a filmmaker, and can you call yourself an indie filmmaker sort of thing? I would probably say you're a bit more a bit more than that now, I would imagine. But do you just concentrate on one genre? Because you've went into like the kind of documentary about a real life story sort of thing with Jeffrey. Do you want to continue doing that sort of it, or would you kind of pivot into different subjects, or continue doing the documentary? What's your preferred kind of avenue to go down?
So, we might have talked about this. I can't remember, but the whole reason I went to film school was to make docs about wrongful convictions, because I came to
Right.
this world through a different story, a non-side story, who was on the Serial podcast back in 2014. And so I went into filmmaking because I thought I could advocate better for these people through film, through that medium. So I wanted to do just wrongful conviction stories, or prison reform, and like the things that are wrong with the American justice system. And everything I'm working on right now is in that bucket, except for the Yo MTV Raps doc. But I couldn't say no when they asked me to work on that one, because it's so fun and it's music and it's so interesting. And I grew up watching that show. So like for me, it was such a like cool experience. So I had to do that one. So, considering I'm doing that one, I would do other stuff now. And
Yeah.
it's really interesting because I said I wouldn't initially, and people used to ask me all the time, "Don't you get burnt out from working in this space all the time? It's so sad. Like it's so depressing. These people's lives are completely ruined." I have friends, like I was with a friend last night who was wrongfully convicted for 24 years and another one was wrongfully convicted for 25 years. And they're in their late 40s or one is 50 now. That's half your life and it's all the good years. It's like all
Yeah.
the years that you have the best time of your life and you're a little more carefree and all these things, right? And so it's really heartbreaking. And people used to ask me often, how do you work in this space? Aren't you depressed? Isn't it so sad? And I used to always say it's not, because I love being behind the camera. So like that part of it, it really interests me. So I enjoy my time doing it. And secondly, I feel like I'm doing something that's helping the cause. So I don't feel depressed doing it. The funny
Yeah.
thing is now, fast forward 8 years later, it's very sad to be like, now that I know 50 people wrongfully convicted and their
Yeah.
families, and it's and it has gotten to be a little tough for me personally, which I thought it wouldn't, but it really has. And so it's really nice when I do work on stuff like the Yo MTV Rap Stock. It's such a nice, refreshing break to just like
Mm.
watch Lauryn Hill videos when she was 18 and like pick the scenes that we want to include and stuff. Like it's such a nice breather.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's tough. You can't help but sometimes take your work home with you, if that makes sense. I've got a few friends on my side that are like social workers, and they're constantly in that battle of switching off after they finish and coming
Yeah.
home, and they're dealing with people and they're dealing with really tough, sensitive subjects, and they struggle to switch off. I mean, what's it like? Did you find it quite difficult to kind of switch off from your kind of going out and discussing all these, well, I wouldn't say sad, but really painful things to talk about, and then coming home? And does that affect like your home life in any way?
It definitely does. What's been kind of great is my son is 8 now, and I went
Oh
to film
wow,
school when he was 1. And so
wow,
he's grown up with this world and he knows a lot of my friends who are wrongfully convicted. And because he's watched my film, he's watched the film, which is not really made for kids, but he's been at my screenings with me, he's been at the film festivals
yeah,
with me, and he's watched it. And to see him speak to how the justice system is broken and how cops can be corrupt and they can be bad guys and who you can trust and who you can't. And he's only 8, is really wonderful. Like it's wonderful. So that's one way. It's definitely like, I never would have learned these types of things at that young age. I really
yeah,
love that he's that street smart and that he has this knowledge and awareness at such a young age. So in that way, it's definitely come into my home life. And to be honest, I'm a workaholic, like, and I work better at night. I'm more creative at night. So I work day and night. So it definitely has seeped into my home life for sure. And I'm friends with these people now. Like they are my friends. I spend
yeah.
so much time with them.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the thing is, you talked about your son still like 8 years old being street smart like that. I'm 40. I'm still not street smart like that. So he's doing something right, I'm just switching on now. I'm only just realizing it now because you've told me about it.
Yeah, right.
I've no idea. I am sheltered.
I,
I need to get out more.
I think I told you last time we talked that I watched The Hurricane, the Denzel Washington movie about Reuben Carter's story, the boxer from New Jersey who was wrongfully convicted.
You did,
Right.
yeah.
And at that time I was like 19 or something. And that was the first time ever that I realized that cops can be corrupt. I was like
Yeah.
19, 20 years old. And
It's
so
crazy, isn't it?
for my son to know at 5, he's known since he was like 5 years old. I feel like I did something right.
You mentioned that you're doing something absolutely fantastic, like in highlighting a lot of like corruption and kind of wrongdoing in the justice system. What's been your like kind of I would say, is any sort of like kind of the people from that side, from the police and the justice system, what's their sort of take on everything? Do they kind of approachy? Have they made your life a little bit harder, or
Not at all. No, I've had
really?
no interaction in that way whatsoever. I mean, the little bit was when I was filming 16 years, we tried to talk to, because that story took place in Peekskill, New York, and we
Right.
tried to talk to Peekskill detectives, and they didn't want to. They didn't want to speak to us.
I bet they
So
didn't.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't make them look good, so
Nah.
so that was the extent of it. But no, I've never had any problems of any kind like that at all. But everything that I've up until this point that I've included in my films it's like public knowledge. Like, this guy was exonerated. It was proven that all this stuff happened to him. So it's not like I'm
Mm.
saying anything that hasn't been said before, right? I've just put it in a different medium,
Yeah.
if you will. Yeah.
Yeah, because you do get a lot of filmmakers out there, not putting a bad rap on you, sort of thing. They really they kind of exaggerate a lot of facts for views, if that makes sense,
Right.
But and it's a bit of an ethical sword you're really kind of walking on, really, isn't it? Because you can either go that way just for the fame and the notoriety, or you can stay factual to the story and start factual to the facts and have that sort of reputation.
Yes, yes. I talk about this often because that was when I first started filmmaking, I could have went with a production company and then had them
Right.
fund the film and worked with them. But what I noticed over and over and over is every time I watched a true crime doc on TV, it was sensationalized, the facts were exaggerated, and I was like, this is my first film and it's going to have my name on it for the first time ever. And if it's not made the way that I like want my branding to be, then I'm going to be labeled as like this person who makes true crime films that are sensationalized. I didn't want that. So I funded the first one myself for that very reason and didn't partner with a production company because I didn't want someone muddying it up and saying, oh, let's put like, the crime scene photos in there and let's do this because it'll get more views. And I didn't want to do any of those things. And I'm so glad I didn't because it's really, that's what it's done. It's like giving my name kind of the branding in film that I want to be associated with.
That's great. Over here in the UK, we call that Americanized.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what we call it. Oh, it's so Americanized when something's all flamboyant and out of the way and shouting and
Yes.
making everything all dramatic. It's like, oh my
It's
God,
exactly what it is. Yes. And
it
I,
is,
I
isn't it?
don't like it. Every time I see it, I'm like, first of all, these people's stories are already like batshit crazy. Like, you don't
Yeah.
need to embellish it any further. The stories are wild just as they actually occurred. So I don't know why we need to do all that stuff that you're.
And it loses. I think it loses its authenticity as well.
It does. For sure it does. Yep.
Definitely does that.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy thing to do. So you want to put your own mark on it, sort of thing. You want to put your own stamp on it and stay true to your word, which is great. And it's because you do get some crazy ones out there, like I can't remember. I think I was watching one the other. Most of them on Netflix, to be quite honest,
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
That's the downfall. I do like the documentaries. I love a good documentary and stuff, but you see it all, and it's just like, oh my God. And they try, and I can see it straight away the way they're doing it, and they try and hook you first.
Yeah.
So they try and tell you the story, and then miss it little bits out, and then say keep watching until the end until
Yeah.
you see it. And it's tried to cater towards the attention span of the people nowadays. So we've got an attention span about 2 seconds or something, aren't they? To try and hook you in and keep you watching.
Yeah.
It's like, because I've started my own YouTube channel, and that's what they say for me to do to get people watching is get the hook in. It's all about the hook to keep people in for the first 10, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And once you do that, that's when the story starts. And it's just like, oh God, it's so too much effort sometimes.
I know, but it's what works, right? That's why they do it because it's proven
Yeah.
that they get more views that way, right? That's all they care about. That's how they make their money. Yeah.
Because you've had, I mean, it's not, I'm going to say it's been a few years since you've really kind of came from film school. Do you think the things that they taught you in film school are now starting to become replaced by different things like techniques and the way you narrate stuff and the way you film stuff? Do you think it's all changed up?
No, for me anyways, AI aside, AI is definitely just changing the game altogether. But AI aside, no, the basics that like the foundation of everything that I learned is still exactly what I do. And it was really fascinating experience to go to New York Film Academy. They like one thing that I often say, which was so crazy to hear as somebody who knew nothing about film when I went to film school. One of the first things they told us is that audio is way more important than video. And no matter what you do in film, make sure you get your audio right. And I was like, how can that be? Like, film is all visual. It's on TV. You need video. And, later on, I learned that, like, if the audio quality is bad, people will just turn it off. They won't tolerate that. But if the video quality is bad and the audio is great, you can still keep them because they can hear and they can follow along, and you can always replace it with B-roll or make After Effects and, do fancy stuff over the audio. But if your audio is shit, the whole game is over. You got nothing.
just cover up with a few explosions in the background or something like that. They'll be fine.
So like things like that, like they taught us like the real foundation of like how to make good films. And so no, that stayed the same for me. So.
That's always good. Just because obviously what we're talking about there with a way to grab people's attention, I was expected to say, oh yeah, whatever I've learned in film school, I've had to throw away and start from scratch to keep people entertained and all that sort of stuff. And so it's great you're still, the fundamentals are still there.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
You know what though I hate so much is how AI can make fake videos and fake photos now. It's like you can't even trust, like, before, if something was on video, you'd be like, okay, well, that's for sure how it went down because here's the video.
Yeah.
But now you can't trust anything. And then even in film, you can just create AI videos instead of actually going out to film something. I really like, and I'm not against AI by any means. Like ChatGPT is great for things if you use it in the right ways. But as far as creating photos and videos that don't exist, that aren't real, I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's. I was going to actually ask you about the AI side of things. I mean, AI is great. It's what you said. It has its own purpose. But you could just tell when back before AI kicked off, if some film started doing certain bits, you could see it because it was all special effects. You're like, oh yeah, that's not real. Someone's doctored that. That's not real. Because you can tell it is. But now AI is getting so good. You don't know what's real and what's fake anymore, do you?
Yeah. And I really hate it. Like, I really hate it. And even if, like, even for, like, B-roll, like, if you want to just get B-roll of, like, police sirens going off, you can just tell AI to make you a video of a NYPD with I don't like it. Like, documentary is so about documenting, like, real stuff that really occurred, at the time that it occurred. So it just goes against the whole principle, and I don't like it at all.
Well, there's a massive stigma of it in the film industry right now, isn't there? Because of that, about how even big blockbuster movies are using AI, and they're using posters that have got AI and all that sort of stuff, and stills, and they've been caught out a few times. And obviously the actors and obviously people like yourself, filmmakers and cinematographers, are starting to become a little bit pissed off at it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. It's like the opposite of authenticity, and it's opposite of documenting something.
There's no talent to it, is there? There's no talent. I mean, it's for something like that with obviously yourself, the filmmaking side of things, you have to look at the perfect shot and what's going to be the perfect cut, and the music to go with it, everything involved in it. It's a talent, and you only get good at that the more you do it. But when you do it through AI, all you need to do is learn how to write a sentence into a small box. That's it.
Yes.
So it's shit. Yeah. Bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely. There was one, as a perfect example about, like, first of all, even in like investigations and stuff, right? You would use photos and stuff to be like, oh no, this person was at this concert at this time, right? And now you can just take that person and put them in a photo somewhere else, and like, like, how do we even decipher now to use it as evidence, right? There was a documentary years ago that a friend of mine did. That's also one I would recommend. I think it was called, I'm going to double check this, I think it was called Long Shot. Did you hear about this? There was a guy wrongfully convicted of a crime, and it happened to be that Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David's show, was filming an episode at a baseball game.
Yes, I saw this.
Yes. And that guy was at that baseball game, so he ended up in some of the B-roll in the back of the footage, and like, he got freed because of it,
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I was on a video, and I was like, no way, that is real. I googled it, and it was real. I was like,
real.
Oh my god.
Yes, I know the guy who made that talk.
Oh really? He was he was going to be sent down for a long, long time as well, wasn't he?
Yes. And so, like, things like that, could we trust it today? Would he be freed today? You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many holes and issues with this that I don't know have been thought through really, but like that's a perfect example. They were able to do that video.
Yeah, when it comes to the AI side of things as well, when it comes to that, I think we don't know what hole to put the AI sort of stuff in. We're just using it. We're just going, yeah, this is great. It's there. But we need to really kind of trim the edges and find out a place for it. Similar to what we did with the internet, you know, when the internet first came around, the early 2000s, we didn't know what to do with it. We were chucking like everything at it, funny memes and games, and we didn't realize what we had.
Yeah.
I think we're in the same sort of position right now with AI. We don't know what we've got. We don't know how to use it effectively going forward. And I think the next few years is when now the hype has died down a little bit. And now all these companies are now double down into the AI stuff. I think over the next few years, we're going to find out what we can actually use it particularly for going forward. Hopefully, not for deep fake videos and stupid things, and for actually using it as a good thing, you know, actually using it to help people and make lives easier for everyone else.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
That's my prediction. I'm going to put that. I tell you what, we're going to come back and do this again in 4 years' time. And we're going to go back and we're going to talk about this bit and see if I'm actually right.
Let's do it.
That's if I'm still doing this in 4 years' time. I might have gave up by then. I don't know. I'm a veteran. I might as well keep going.
Yeah, well, considering how long it's been since we talked last time, I feel like you're still going to be doing it. We're still going to be both doing this.
Yeah, we're still. I just still be going. I'm still trying to get this documentary on Amazon and.
Oh my God! Don't even put that out in the universe. No, my goal is like the next 3 months. Like it has to happen. I'm just so done with waiting. I'm so done with
Get
waiting.
out. Yeah. I know, that's it. Because then once that's done, you can get that out there and then you can concentrate, double down on everything else, I would imagine.
That's exactly it. Yes, because right now I'm still doing screenings for this one and still trying to market this one. But once it's out there, I can truly move on to the next projects. You know, it's kind of like right now I've got 1 foot in here and 1 foot over there, you know.
So the next project coming up, what's the next one coming out? What's the next filming?
Well, so the story that I was mentioning, where the 3 kids went into an apartment and one of them was murdered. It's the guy's name who's incarcerated is Rahul Gupta, and he did give a false confession after hours upon hours of interrogation and no food, and the same MO that happens in every case. So that's the next one. I'm gonna have the sizzle reel for that one completed soon. I'll share it with you when it's done. But all of the DNA on the murder weapon points to the other person, but he got convicted. And so that's what's really fascinating about that one. Yeah,
that's fascinating. That's interesting. That's good. Do you think that's going to take a long time to kind of delve into it? Are you going to go down the rabbit hole again for this one?
Well, I've already been working on this one for months now, so we're coming so I should have it completed in the next probably couple of months here.
Oh, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. You need to give us a shout when it's out, and I can take a watch of that. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, I will. Yeah.
So we're not slowing down anytime soon, Gia, are we? So we're still ramping it up with the documentaries. So where can people find you? Where can people kind of catch up with you and what you've been up to?
So the place I'm most active is on Instagram, and my Instagram is my first name Jia. It's JIA Docs DOCS, like for documentary. So it's JIA DOCS. And LinkedIn, and then my website's just jiarizvi.com. Which, you know, you can link, I'll give it to you. But there's an events page where we list all of our screenings all around the world. I'm going to Netherlands for a screening in June. So people can come. They're usually free. You just got to RSVP and show up. And so 16 years right now, we're just doing in-person screenings. And so that's how people can see the latest film until it releases on a streaming platform.
Brilliant. There we go. Any of the links we'll put into the description, so people can catch up with you and get a few subscribers, get a few eyes on the documentaries and stuff like that. But Jia, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks again for coming on. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ryan. Always. You're awesome. It's always so great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell that to everyone, please.
Okay, I will. Trust me.